Hello everybody, this is me. This is from Tim and Jordan on Wrestling, back again with another video. And this time it is my first ever episode of WCPW Loaded. And this time it is the 8th of August 2016 edition of WCPW Loaded. And I'm excited to be back again with another episode. And today I'm very excited, as this is a very exciting show actually. They built this up as Season 2 of WCPW Loaded. And now I have seen Season 1 and I can tell you it was very good. Our last episode of Season 1 was, of course, Built to Destroy, where we saw Big Damo turn his back on the fans, turn his back on Jack, align himself with Adam Blampier, and become the new What Culture Pro Wrestling Champion. And we saw that flashback just before the show commenced. Now onto the show, because, as you know, Noam Dar competed in the first match of Season 2 here, in the nice big arena here. I think it was just like a newly improved set design or whatever, and the arena wasn't too much better, but I don't know, it was improved, I guess. Noam Dar, or Dar Wars as they like to call him, took on El Ligero and Will Ospreay in a triple threat match. Now I can tell you that Will Ospreay came out with a really nice attire and really cool looking entrance, and it was pretty cool. Anyways, before the match started, we had an actual a build up for the match. We just had these three awesome wrestlers, and I knew this was going to be a great affair. I mean, these are names from across the world. We must remember we have El Ligero, who fought in Mexico, very professional actually, and had really great contests over there. Very lucha, wrestled also a high flyer as well. Noam Dar, we must remember, who was a great wrestler in just across the world really, and he's just a renowned wrestler and is known for his wrestling integrity and skill. And then of course the newcomer Will Ospreay, who we all know, he actually might be getting involved. I discussed this with Jordan. He wrestled over Japan, but I said he might be getting involved with a feud with Noam Dar that looks like the way. But I mean, we did see, actually at the end of Build Destroy, we saw, a music video with the name's gone completely out of my head actually. Joe Connors, no, not Joe Connors. Joe Hendry, who was actually looked like he was going after Will Ospreay a bit and just picking at him, but I don't know if that's going to be featured or anything. I think that might be picking up a bit later, but we'll see. Anyways, he won the Super Junior tournament in Japan, so Will Ospreay has a great lineage to him. Anyways, we got into this match here with hands shook early on. Will Ospreay early on actually striking very, very much to Noam Dar especially. So that was a good start to the match actually. And very straight away we could tell two men went at it. It was either Dar Ospreay or El Ligero striking at Dar as well. El Ligero using the springboard maneuver or the ropes for all of his maneuvers, and definitely going for the high flyer. Champer super knee from Dar actually at one point here onto Ospreay and Ligero, and after that we saw a springboard move from El Ligero at this point on the two wrestlers. Awesome moment there. That was my favourite moment as well. Moving on to the match, we saw El Ligero with a spinebuster and getting a 2 count before Dar hits the interference. Probably my favourite moment of the match came later on, after a slobber fest between the three men with uppercuts, kicks and punches. We saw before this actually, we saw a shooting star press from Will Ospreay before Noam Dar locked in the Champer super knee on both members. It's sort of like this submission similar to the figure 4 leg lock, which nearly ended it all on two members. Just remember, on the two other wrestlers in the match. At the end, we saw a springboard ox cutter from Noam Dar. No, sorry, Will Ospreay, obviously, who won the match on Noam Dar with the pinfall. Very nice finish. Well expected for Will Ospreay to get his first win here on his debut, and what a way to start it off. This match was quality. This is my favourite match of the night. Sorry, it's my second favourite, or maybe my favourite match of WCW PW so far. after, of course, that crazy match that Noam Dar had with Jay Lethal on Built to Destroy. I mean, Noam Dar must be golden in the ring. Like, he's built to just make classic matches here and there, and oh my god, this was one of them. What a match to start it off, really. So obviously, as I said earlier, we might be getting a build up to a feud, and definitely I can see Noam Dar being booked as one of the top contenders for that title later on the road. But again, Will Ospreay, lovely debut for him, and he's also looking very strong out of this, of course. A promo backstage as we hear Prospect, who are a big faction in WCPW. If you've never seen the show before, Prospect are basically just an alignment of heel wrestlers who are headed by Kennedy, and he's just basically this manager, kind of great, kind of like heel. The wrestlers usually use lots of cheap spots to get victories in matches. Actually, and ironically, getting a lot of losses as a result, or just, they're poor wrestling. But their size and numbers. There's currently 3 members, and they fight for their ground, I guess. Anyways, they talk they're saying, oh yeah, we're the best, and we can get things done. Just pretty much standard Prospect talking. Nothing special, just straight down, we're going to run this company. Later on, Joe Hendry plays music with Joseph Connors backstage, saying that, one problem that we have as a tag team is I need more time, and obviously he's just teasing at Connors because he needs the spotlight, even though he already has the incredible spotlight over Joseph Connors, who he's pretty much doing a Shawn Michaels. Imagine that Joe Hendry is Shawn Michaels and Joseph Connors is Mario Giannetti. That's probably what's happening right now. He's pretty much just pushing Joseph Connors as far away from the spotlight as possible. So obviously tension brewing between this tag team here. We can tell something's going on here. A bit of ascension, maybe. A bit of dissension in the team. And I can tell things are crumbling pretty fast. But we'll see what happens later on. Our second match of the night, Alex Gracie versus Joe Hendry in a singles match here. New entrance for Joe Hendry, surprisingly. A bit more rock themed. And not as good as his original Joe Hendry song. There's a parody of Hello by Adele, but a good song nonetheless. Our match started off with Hendry getting a few. From Gracie, who is part of our Prospect team, who gets a few slams on Hendry, pulls him down to the ring. A lot of mat-based wrestling here, but Joe Hendry quickly reverses it and dominates here the early on goings of the match. Then we hear the F-U-C-K boy chants on Gracie from the crowd, which are very prominent as always. And Archer, who is backstage, who's outside, hits a Russian leg sweep on Joe Hendry, with the referee looking away, distracted by another member of Prospect. An uppercut city as well, and then we see a close-up on the match and clotheslines from Archer and Drake, and then we see Hendry actually stopping this and just attacking both members of Prospect, clearing them out of the ring. The referee's back in the match, and then of course we see Hendry get the win with the fall-away slam. Lovely finish. It just pretty much strengthens the hell out of Joe Hendry, if you know what the hell I was talking about there. Yeah, he basically just took down the 2 members that were interfering outside the ring and got the win on Gracie in pretty good timing. Now, one thing about this match was it did make Joe Hendry look very, very strong. Again, all this offense was really going his way. Apart from, obviously the team interference, Gracie really had nothing on Joe Hendry, and obviously this is just great booking. Actually, I was kind of expecting it to go the other way, but really happy when it went Joe Hendry's way. It's definitely just one thing about Joe Hendry. I mean, he's a great face, and honestly, he's pretty much one of the most likable, charismatic, and fun wrestlers in the company. And I put the emphasis on fun because he just, he's got a great character. It's kind of like on borderline between annoying and just hilarious. It's great. It's actually really amazing to watch him. Yeah. And so far he's had very good promo on the show. After this match, we had another promo, I think. Actually, no, sorry. After the match, we saw Prospect basically threaten to attack Joe Hendry in the middle of the ring, surrounding the ring and basically hitting the beatdown before Joseph Connors runs out and just stops them from attacking him, and they all run off. And as usual, babyface, he saves Joe Hendry, which is nice because that kind of reignites the tag team. And of course, the typical heels clear out of the house. Not clear house, but clear out of the house. Interview as Hendry thanks Connors, plus Connors says that local hero was there for him all the time and they will fight alongside each other against Prospect to defeat a common enemy, which is just great in my mind that they're working together as a team. It's just really cool to see these two together. And, we're going to hold off on this tension for a little while. This could be a cool little mini feud between them and Prospect. Another promo, which I did not know was happening. Two men backstage take off their tops and threaten to attack the other. Both, shooting profanities at each other, and that was it. Yeah, really nothing to it. I don't even know who the wrestlers were. Are they members of What Culture? I don't know. Anyway, just a clueless looking promo. We're obviously probably going to get more for this for the weeks to come. And we'll reveal who these people are that hate the living crap out of each other. Anyways, moving on. Another promo as Adam Pacitti comes out to introduce the women's division, which is a long overdue. I mean, I should have saw this in season 1, but of course they had limited time. Now we have 90-minute episodes, I think, unloaded. So that gives us lots of time and lots of space for the women's division, which has really ignited itself in recent time on WWE. So they're taking the page from WWE's book and NXT's book with the strong women booking. And that was seen here early on because a match started immediately after between Bea Priestley and Nixon Newell. Now, these are two wrestlers that I'm not sure about. I think they're pretty well touted by the announcers out there, or the commentators. Anyways, we get into this match here, and early on, Newell actually shooting with the offense with a drop kick. It's clear to see who the heel was definitely Priestley. She was using a lot of heel tactics like squashing down Newell with, kicks to the head and stuff like this, and just ultimately using the ring as a weapon for her. Newell attempts the roll up in this match, but Priestley recovers. Priestley and Newell execute crazy kicks on the rope, using the ropes, as in one of them hitting the other down on the turnbuckle and squashing them to the floor. A lot of kicks in this match. I mean, a lot. Newell actually counters a headbutt and hits a Canadian Destroyer to get the win. Nice finish. Not the greatest Canadian Destroyer I've ever seen, but again, a nice finish and really, quite cool combat. Only went outside once, really. And I'm really liking not Newell, but Priestley in this match was very good heel, actually. I can tell she has this aura about her, very cool. I'm not quite sure on Newell at the moment. She's a bit bland as a babyface, but we'll see to come what goes on. This will be a perfect rivalry though, because it kind of reminds you of like a Paige like wrestler in Newell, or similar to like a heel like that. And then we have the babyface Bayley in Newell. So I think they both have a lot of potential. Priestley and Newell could be an ongoing feud, but of course these are the only two women we've seen so far, so it's tough for me to say will this be a rivalry because we haven't seen any of the other women so far. But yeah, this will actually be pretty good because it's your typical babyface and your typical heel, so that's nice. I like that. Moving on, I think we had another backstage promo, yes, as we are introduced to a new tag team, which is quite nice. We haven't seen many tag teams recently, but I'm glad to see a new one. Liam Slater and Johnny Moss are introduced. And they are to prove, as James R. Kennedy comes out, that they don't need him, and they don't need Prospect, or at least they're proving themselves to Prospect, maybe to get hired or whatever, but I hope not. And saying that they are literally the best living things since sliced bread. And they're out there to show themselves in the ring against two members of Prospect. And yeah, that was our match. Archer plus Drake from Prospect against Moss and Slater. Now, before this, we heard so much stuff about Johnny Moss, saying he was now this big, built-up, technical, proficient man, and that's exactly what he was. He was renowned world over for how big and buff and absolutely crazy strong this guy was, and that was showed perfectly in this matchup, as he definitely showcased it on, you know, working down Archer very, very quickly on. This is crazy stuff. He literally threw Archer around, and one of the best things about this match was the tag team maneuvers we got to see with Slater and Moss. You know, especially when Moss would use Slater as a human catapult and throwing him down on the other wrestler. It kind of reminds me of the Big Cass and Enzo Amore matchup a little bit, the way they used his tag team maneuvers. But the actual tag team itself is very, very good. I must remember, in the ring as well as outside, I can tell about them. They've got the confidence, and they've definitely good bit of charisma there as well. Moss hit some crazy ass suplexes here. I mean, crazy ass suplexes, suplexing both Archer and Drake at the same time in a sort of a German suplex like combination there. As well as that, we had a jumping, diving tombstone by him. I thought the Piledriver was banned, but I guess the tombstone is sound, even though it did look quite dangerous the way he jumped in the air after it. But yeah, lovely tag team maneuvers as well here. And we finished off the match with Slater jumping over Moss, who was carrying another wrestler, before diving down to get the pin on Archer. Anyway, that was the match. Very enjoyable, and again, a really creative use of the two wrestlers, the two different styles of Moss, who's the big guy, Jack guy, and Slater, who's sort of the smaller high flyer in the match. So I'm very impressed by that tag team. But again, it seems strange booking that Prospect get 2 losses in one night. They're having a very, very tough night for them, actually. And we're going to see, I guess they got to have their down days. This just means James R. Kennedy is out even more. He's got even more. It's kind of the way I like heel being booked, I guess, because it gives James R. Kennedy more reason to be angry and annoyed at basically anybody who sets foot in the ring or outside the ring, backstage, as in this case. So yeah, going forward, great tag team in Moss and Slater. We're going to see them compete very much. I think this may be an announcement that Pete Pacitti will make in weeks to come about the tag team division maybe getting a tag team championship, because that kind of signifies it. I mean, we have a longer show, so we have a great chance of a tag team division forming. And we have at least these 2 tag teams plus, 3 tag teams with Prospect, Slater and Moss, and of course Hendry and Connors. So we'll see how it goes in weeks to come. Another promo as Prince Amin, in his usual garments, comes out of Premier Inn with Gabriel Kidd, who was also in his slavery garments. That sounds really weird. Now, he's in another Indian garment, but he's of course the slave of Prince Amin after the stipulation that was won by Prince Amin. So he's pretty pissed off, as you can tell. He's annoyed, and he has to piggyback Prince Amin to the O2 training facility in Newcastle. So that's, I would hate that if I was him. Not great for Gabriel Kidd at the moment. An interview as Doug Williams talks about, how Brexit occurred and how Britain doesn't need the rest of the world. This typical talk about how he had a training school. He's renowned from the world over, but he doesn't want these foreign wrestlers interfering with his own homegrown talent, and he thinks that they can do better off on their own British soil, I guess. So his natural heel, if there's America, he would literally be atomic heat, man. Here in Britain, he's still getting a good bit of heat. A clever heel, because of course he is good enough as a heel that he can even get over as a heel in a British soil, so that's good for him. Anyways, he's competing in the main event against our friend Aaron Stevens, Damien Sandow, one of my favourite wrestlers, if you didn't already know. I was so pissed off when he left WWE, or when he was released, sorry. But again, he makes the most out of everything, and here he is at WCPW. Obviously, great offer for him, and a great moment for him to showcase himself to the internet wrestling crowd. Definitely excited to see him here, and hopefully he stays for a bit longer than 1 month. I mean, hopefully he does. I mean, I don't think he was announced for the September tapings or the October tapings, I think, but hopefully he's still there. Anyways, in this one, we start the match off with, before the match actually, Aaron Stevens, I should preface, had his little towel that he brings in. Of course, he has the intellectual saver of the masses gimmick, still the same. If you remember, for him from WWE, exact same gimmick, exact same attire. He comes out with the same song, except under the name Aaron Stevens. That's the only real difference. I'm not too sure him using his own name, but I guess it pretty much means I don't think he's going to be here for a long while. So maybe he's just using that name on the independent circuit because he obviously doesn't have rights to WWE name Damien Sandow because, you know, WWE. Anyways, he gets his rope and he just rubs it around all the ropes, cleaning the ropes, you know, doing this little thing. I guess that's going to be his thing. Yeah, with his own little towel, and tremendous crowd cheer, which I was not surprised. He's definitely the number one babyface before Joe Hendry even. So the match commences, and a cartwheel from Sandow. Nice, love it. Vintage Sandow. I should be saying Sandow because I'm not going to say Stevens. Come on, guys. Anyways, starting it off here, and we see Sandow with a great athleticism of him with two dive reversals on reversals over Williams. Outside the ring, Damien Sandow striking Steve Williams against the mat before being reversed, and Williams literally clotheslining Sandow into the ring post, which really hurt, and of course he went to the ground. Back into the match because it kind of worked out. The Williams got Stevens back in the ring where he wanted him, but something that wasn't really planned, guys. A really horrible spot, as we see, crazy enough, Williams jumping off and diving off the top rope, and this one was a risk he probably shouldn't have taken in his, he's in his older age, I guess. He's maturing a bit. He's like 40 plus. I'm going to be kind to him, 40 plus. And he jumped off at an awkward spot, Damien Sandow ducking out of the way as he dived off the top rope and landed on his head/leg, damaging a nerve, it looks like, in his knee area. Now, it was a really horrible spot, and again, he was lying on the ground and couldn't really do much from that spot here. And anyways, this led to Sandow getting a roll-up win. So yeah, it was a pretty anticlimactic ending to the match, but of course it was because of a reason of injury there. And that means, I should have not mentioned the stipulation from Adam Pacitti, the winner is the number one contender for Big Damo and the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which is great because we're going to see Damien Sandow compete in a title match in 2 weeks' time. I'm very excited about that. After this match, Blampier comes out to announce the winner as Big Damo low blows Stevens from behind. He then goes out and then says, "You're welcome," to Stevens, who's obviously cowering, lying on the ground, and walks out with the WCW title, which obviously is building that big title match. And I'm very excited about it because Aaron Stevens is getting his chance here to shine on the independent circuit. Now, I'm very excited as he will be taking on Big Damo 2 weeks from now. It's a very exciting match for us. Again, moment of the night was that triple threat earlier on, but I would have preferred this match if hadn't been the awkward ending. I mean, that really kind of ruined the momentum that was going on, but I still really support obviously Stevens. He got a great crowd reaction, and he's touted for that match, man. If I could say, I would say he wouldn't win because, we have to build up Big Damo a lot, and Big Damo is just a really strong wrestler, and I think that, he has the backing with him with Blampier. Blampier is a clever, sadistic man. We saw it earlier on this show, with the low blow and the distraction. He's like, Paul Heyman, really sly, deceitful, and that pretty much puts them over the edge for against Aaron Stevens. So I don't think it's going to be a clean victory, but I think it's going to be a victory nonetheless for Big Damo. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Great show. I'm going to start rating these shows from now on, so you know, you'll see me doing Raw and WCPW. I'm going to rate these shows. I'm going to give this show a 4.5 out of 5. Great show, actually. A really triumphant return for WCPW after, you know, obviously the big pay-per-view. So they haven't let down. Very, very enjoyable. I'm going to end it now. Thank you guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.